going to look to their playmakers to do what they do best, making plays down the field.
It is 2nd and 6 from the 39. Drop it back, rolling, left side, under pressure, trying to move, still going, gets a nice stiff arm. Will have to try to take off. Loss of a few yards on that play. Defense right on it for the Hawks.
That coverage sack is what provided the defensive line with that opportunity. He had nowhere to go with that ball, Bassinger.
And that sets up a 3rd and 11 from the 34 with 10:42 and counting to go in this opening quarter. So if you're looking here, if you are the Hurricanes, as they kind of open up here, got trips on the near side, 3 receivers, 1 receiver up top. 3rd and 11, 10:25 to go opening quarter. Rolling to the left side, under pressure, throws. That is incomplete. A little bit of miscommunication there. Aiden Nelson, the intended target. 4th and 11 with 10:19 to go, and Brooklyn will punt.
Hawken saw that trips, and I believe they went into a man coverage. Another coverage sack. Bassinger couldn't find anyone open, so he did the best he could and just got rid of it.
So with 10:19 to go in this opening quarter, Brooklyn will punt on this 4th and 11. Dominic Johnson, number 1. We're going to hear his name a lot. He is the punt returner. And that will be punted away from Johnson. This clock stops at 10:13. So
no need to call poison that time.
yeah. Yeah, and maybe, Rico, as the Hawks take over on offense, special teams-wise, it's a smart thing to do, keep the ball away from Johnson.
You have to keep that ball away because he is a speed demon on the field. He's like, if you ever watch Sonic the Hedgehog, whenever he would crack that box open to get the fast shoes and he would fly all over, that's Johnson.
From the 40, 10-13, and Johnson with the football. And will gain a couple as the Hurricanes is right on it on that play.
May have been a
Anthony Starr, one of the guys making a play. Brant will drop back. Throw, that's caught on the 2nd and 8. Going and setting up 3rd and long. That was caught by Emmanuel Robinson. But it will be 3rd down coming up, 3rd and 4 from the 34.
Couple of key defensive stops.
Brant will toss to Johnson, who gets the 1st down. Still going, and you see the speed as he is out of bounds. Past the 25, they will mark Johnson at about the 23.
The thing about Johnson is not only is he fast, but he's tough to bring down too. And when you're fast and tough to bring down, it's a combination for disaster if you're a defender.
Yeah, and definitely with that case here. And he stepped out of bounds, 9:14 to go, opening quarter. 1st and 10 for the 23. Johnson again with the carry, up the middle. Looking at about a gain of 5, about 5 yards on that play.
I think Brooklyn should go with a little bit of outside contain. You know, if he goes to the outside, maybe try to force him to the inside because they're flying to the ball pretty good thus far.
So 2nd and 5 upcoming as the Hawks look to get their instructions. Again, just underway, first drive of the game for the Hawks. Brooklyn started with a 3 and out. Throw over the middle, incomplete. That looked like it was intended. There, number 17, Garzilli. 3rd and 5 coming up. Gradual,
excellent ball. He just had some heat coming out. That ball was coming out like a heat-seeking missile. He wasn't prepared for it.
So 3rd and 5 upcoming from the 18. Got 2 receivers at the near side. This will be an option to Johnson. Gets 1 cut. Will that be enough for a first down? That's going to be close. We'll see where the officials spot this. Tresca with the hit that he will rule that a first down. So that will be a first down. And Hawken right back at it on offense. 8:23 to go and counting in this opening quarter. Johnson again will keep it. Gain about 3 or 4 yards on that play, Rico.
They're looking to take it one possession at a time, you know. Defensively, I don't think Brooklyn's looked half bad. I think they're getting in the backfield, and they're getting to Johnson. They're making the necessary stops.
That was a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. Johnson will keep going there. And we'll see if that will be enough for a first down. Again, that was 2nd and 7. And it looks like a 3rd and short coming up. 7:35 to go in this opening quarter.
You're in the red zone, and you don't need 1st and goal. You just need 1st and 10. It seems like it just puts a little bit of extra pressure on defense.
3rd and 1 from the 4. Again, they only need a yard to get the first down. 2 receivers up top. Brant will take it. This will be a run up the gut. And that handoff was to Robinson. Robinson gets that one. It will be a first down. So 1st and go from the 1 coming up. 7 minutes to go and counting. So the defense, get to their spots, but again, the Hawks, 3, 4, 5-yard gains every play here. Johnson back in the backfield. He will get the handoff. He will get the push, and a touchdown for the Hawks with 6:39 to go in this opening quarter. Dominic Johnson, who last week tied with the school record with the touchdowns, had 4 rushing touchdowns last week. He gets his first here tonight.
And a great way to force your way into the end zone behind those big hog mollies up front.
So extra point is upcoming. Again, Johnson is just the weapon. Ball snap. Kick is up, and it is good for Javoris. And with 6:39 to go, the Hawken Hawks up over the Brooklyn Hurricanes 7-0 in a opening drive for the Hawks, where Rico, we've heard about it, we've seen it, we've seen the stats. Dominic Johnson, the way they're able to operate this offense, you see it play out here tonight.
The way that offense runs is just like water on Lake Erie, how it just flows so smooth. It's so effortless, but believe me, these kids put in a lot of work in the off season.
And they definitely do so. And talking about like being workout warriors, get to more of that in just a moment. Again, our presenting sponsor of CVC TV is the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Dr. Keith Snyder, Don Lewis, Jill Weber, and Jacqueline Thompson. Their specialties include dental surgery and implants, corrective jaw, facial surgery, and trauma reconstruction. For all of your oral surgery needs, visit the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Visit the website at ohsurgery.com. That's ohsurgery.com. Thank you for your support of the Chagrin Valley Conference and CVC TV. Ball is kick, a line drive kick that will be caught inside the 5. Returning, got a good hold there, and will take off. Cogburn down the sideline. I don't even think he was touched. That'll be a touchdown for Cogburn. And the Brooklyn Hurricanes respond just like that with 6:25 to go in this opening quarter.
Everybody getting a hat on the hat, playing good fundamental special teams. There were no flags on that field.
You see with this kick return team, he had a good return to open this game. He had some good returns last week against Wycliffe, and here tonight, breaks open, gets the touchdown. Well over 95 yards. I believe that was 97 yards to get that return touchdown. So a little miscommunication as somebody's going to need to come on the field for this extra point, and the Hurricanes have to burn a timeout.
Timeout on the field, Hurricanes, timeout.
Another miscommunication, but you know it's like we said in the pregame and in the media day. Excuse me. These guys are young; they're still learning. Just a lot, you know. This is just the learning curve. This is part of the growing pains. They will be all right. They will grow and learn from this.
And if we've learned anything from watching certain football teams this week, there's nothing wrong with addressing communication at all. Nothing wrong with it. Might as well get it done, figure it out, and you'll be fine.
My girlfriend's always stressing to me communication. You have to communicate, and communication is very important.
So the Hurricanes after the kick return. Here is the kick. Drilled it. Oh, what a kick. And we are tied at 7-all with 6:25 to go in this opening quarter. That was hat tap with the extra point.
It's like we said in the social media hit. This game is not going to be a gimme for either team. And I believe this battle is going to be won in the trenches.
So, defensively, if you're the Hurricanes, you're going back on defense. You have to defend against Dominic Johnson. So, Rico, what adjustments would you like to see from the Brooklyn Hurricanes defensively against Johnson?
Honestly, I think they're doing just fine. It's just a matter of getting a push up front and getting into that backfield.
And they'll have that opportunity here with 6:25 to go in this opening quarter. We are tied at 7 apiece. And the Hurricanes with hat tap about to kick off. And a little bit of a squig has to be covered just past the 40 at the 42. Has to be covered there by Grazel. And that sets up a new possession for the Hawks with 6:24 to go in this opening quarter. Double A Anthony out for Rico McGee here with you. What a start. Both teams getting going here.
This is going to be an excellent game today. I said this on the way in. I was excited for this matchup.
Brant rolls out, and look at the speed he has. And he goes out of bounds for first down. Anthony Starr pushes him out of bounds.
Anthony Starr is a great player. He had 5 receptions for 74 yards last week, and he's also a great playmaker on defense, too. He got him out of his comfort zone that time, just wasn't able to make a stop, and Brant had a lot of green in front of him.
Anthony Starr, not to say that the last day gives it away, but all-around player. Kevin Arnold and I saw him last year. He's pretty good, but here's a screen to Johnson. Get him out. And another first down for Dominic Johnson with 6:07 to go as they briefly stop the clock to move the chains and a new set of downs.
Now they're going to a no huddle. I think they're going to look to get Brooklyn off of their game, get them out of their rhythm.
And first flag of the game. And it's going to go against the defense. So it'll be encroachment. 1st and 5 coming up with 6:01 to go.
Hawken is not looking to let Brooklyn catch their breath. That no-huddle offense is so unsettling.
So the quarterback, Lucas Brandt, he is, and knowledge that we found out for the media days, baseball star. This is his first year playing quarterback. His first year operating in the quarterback position. He is an athlete. We'll tell you a cool thing he did at baseball last year in just a sec. Here's Brandt. Throw. Oh, this might be a good ball. Toss up. Incomplete.
I think Hawken wanted a flag for pass interference, but they're not going to get it.
Gradual with the incomplete pass. So Brandt last season in baseball, no-hitter. A no-hitter. You want to talk about like an all-around athlete? Lucas Brandt, he is that dude.
Lucas Brandt is exciting to watch.
The junior quarterback, 5'8", 160. Again, you saw a couple plays ago the athleticism. He throws a good ball. Here's Johnson. Gets open. He's loose. Flag comes down and out of bounds.
Johnson, the ball carrier, steps out of bounds near the 13-yard
Stepped out at the 13, but more than likely it's going to come back.
Looks like a holding against the offense.
And that's exactly what it will be against the Hawks. So take away that big play. Again, both teams kind of working on this. So 2nd and 5 coming up with 5:24 to go. Ball is at the 28. Man motions. Johnson gets it near side. Will push. Another flag comes out. So a first down, but we'll see again what the penalty will be.
Flag on the play.
And the officials talking it over. And it will again be a hold against the Hawks. So 2nd straight play where Johnson gets a big play, but it's brought back.
Earlier this season, I remember us watching Hawken earlier this season, and I remember a lot of things they wanted to fix was the mental errors, the small things that cost them big penalties. Now, in that game, they made a lot of big plays and made up for it, but you won't be able to get away with that all the time.
And again, something that will be addressed here. Coming up, 2nd and 13, 5:01 to go. Drop it back. Brandt throws. Ball is high and incomplete. Intended for Mangini. 3rd and 13 coming up. So if you're the Hurricanes, and we're hearing it up here at the press box, you're hearing the communication defensively. Watch the ball. Hey, things of that nature. And the Hurricanes have an opportunity here to get the stop on this 2nd drive.
You have an opportunity to get them off the field, and I think you want to dominate the time of possession. Keep Hawkins' offense on the sideline.
Here's a pass. Brandt will try to take off. Almost caught from behind. Will still go, and it's close to the first down. It's going to be about a yard or two short. But Lucas Brandt needed 13 yards on the play as Nelson made the play defensively. Ball be spotted at the 27. We got a 4th down coming up. Call it 4th and 3 with 4:23 and counting to go. And it's decision time here. They're at the 27. And more than likely, and they will, they're going to go for it here. 4:10 to go, 4th and 3 from the 27. Handoff to Johnson. Gets the block. Gets the first down. Tries to cut inside. Will be pushed out of bounds, but gets a big block from the left tackle and a first down on the 4th down for the Hawks.
Taking chances. That's what they like. They like to gamble. Their coach believes in this offense and believes that they can get it done. So you're not going to see them punt too often in this game.
So a new set of downs here from the 19 in the red zone, back in the red zone. Brandt will fake. Brandt will look downfield, and that will be caught by Robinson. And that will be a first down. So first and goal coming up from the 8. So after the 4th down completion, gain of 11 on that completion to Robinson. 3:16 to go. Opening quarter, second offensive drive for Hawken. Brandt will toss to Johnson. Johnson still on his feet. And touchdown, number 2 for Dominic Johnson.
When this all said and done, Dominic Johnson just may be one of the best ever to come out of Hawken.
Yeah, he switched his number this year to number 1. Previous years he wore the number 20. But mentioned the tradition of the Hawks. If you wear number 1 on the football team, like that carries a lot of weight. And he is more than stepped up wearing number 1. Here is the extra point, and that is good.
He had 7 touchdowns last week, and he has 2 tonight. Just so far, the Brooklyn Hurricanes have not found an answer for him yet, and really, it's been hard to find an answer for him all season.
And that's not just a Brooklyn Hurricane, and Jarvis made that extra point. It's not just a Brooklyn Hurricanes issue, as you mentioned. It's an every team Hawken has faced issue.
Right.
And even Gilmore had some troubles with Johnson. So just to recap here, 3:05 to go in this opening quarter. Both touchdowns for the Hawks by Dominic Johnson. And for Brooklyn, Ramir Cogburn, the senior, with a kick return touchdown. And that's how we arrived to 14-7 with 3:05 in this opening quarter.
Let's see if he can recreate some more magic. I do believe that this game is going to be exciting as it goes on.
So there he is. So you'll see him in just a bit here. Cogburn, he is lined up at the 8. Also lined up for Brooklyn to return, Oscar Davis, number 4. And that's caught. And let's see who has the football. That's going to be at near midfield. Hawks got it back. So that's one way to, that's something. Line drive kick, bounced off of a Hurricane, and the Hawks get it back. You did not see that coming.
No, you don't.
Did not see that coming.
At all.
And defensively, they got to get back on it here. And we're going to have a stoppage of play. Brooklyn timeout there. So Brooklyn timeout. Their second timeout, by the way, of this first half. And I think we got to remember, and Coach McFarland of the Hurricanes kind of talked about this, and we talked about this during the season. A big play like that happens. Maybe if you have more numbers, and this is everyone, maybe if you have more numbers, you go back to the sideline, kind of figure out, hey, what went wrong? they got to go back out there on defense. Those same players, they got to go back out there on defense.
It just means more time in the film room to study. You're just going to have to go in there and just study everything and to talk about what went wrong, and this is what we need to do to fix it.
But emotionally, just now, because of that timeout was called, emotionally, what were they saying? What were the coaches saying to the Hurricanes after that big play? Hey, let's get back in it. What were they saying?
They would just say, listen, we're being punched in the mouth right now. We got to get things back in order. We've got to stop Dominic Johnson. We've got to stop this Hawken offense.
A flea flicker attempt. Brant will launch it downfield. Tipped. Caught. Oh, what a catch. Just past the 20, down at the 17. However, there is a flag on the play, and that play will come back with a holding penalty.
Places the ball. Flag on the play.
So another big play for the Hawks, and that's something that's going to, obviously, the coaching staff, they're going to address at halftime. The penalties.
The penalties. Brooklyn's been bailed out with some penalties. They just haven't been able to capitalize thus far.
So the flea flicker attempt, which was caught, it was tipped and caught, does not stand, and now it's a 1st and 20 from the 40. Brant will take off. Brant has room. Brant makes up most of those yardage back. Ball will be down at the 44. 2nd and 5 upcoming. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's a lot of twists and turns in this contest here. Here is Johnson. Johnson breaks through. Might be about a few inches short of the first down.
Johnson, the ball carrier.
3rd and short coming up, called 3rd and 1.
Right now, Hawken is just controlling the battle of the trenches right now. That offensive line is getting that push. Dominic Johnson is finding open holes, and he's just exploiting, I wouldn't say weaknesses, but just exploiting some struggles in the defense.
Robinson motions on his 3rd and 1. Hand off to Dominic Johnson. Was first contact in the backfield. Johnson will take off. Johnson's down past the 20. Dominic Johnson already with 2 touchdowns. And we have a stoppage of play with an injury on the field. So they will attend to the injury. Let's bring it back up here to the booth. Double A Anthony out for Rico McGee here with you. Here early, a lot of twists and turns with this football game as Aiden Nelson gets up on his own power on the field. But what is the main takeaway from this first quarter for you so far in this football game?
Dominic Johnson is the takeaway. They give him that ball. He gets that open field. He breaks a few tackles, and he's just off to the races. And it's like you said earlier, it's not just Brooklyn. No team that they've played this season has really had an answer for him. And if Brooklyn doesn't figure out something now, it's going to be that way tonight.
Well, we have seen here tonight so far special teams making a difference for and against Brooklyn tonight with the kick return, but then also just now the line drive kick hitting their player. Here's Brant. Oh, this is wide open. Touchdown, Dominic Johnson. Johnson was wide open. First receiving touchdown, 3rd touchdown overall tonight. And with 41 seconds to go in the first quarter, a 20-7 Hawks lead.
What can't this young man do? What can't he do? He is just a flat-out beast. He's like Tecmo Bowl. Remember when the Los Angeles Raiders on Tecmo Bowl were the hardest team to beat because of Bo Jackson? He's the Bo Jackson right now for this Hawken offense. Every time the ball goes like, and then he just starts taking off. And
extra point's good. Make sure we clip that sound effect from Rico.
I just revealed my age.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
We want to – never mind. So extra point's good. 41 seconds to go in an eventful opening quarter. And we mentioned last week, Dominic Johnson had 7 total touchdowns, was tied for the school record. He wants it. He wants it here now. And so he's at 3 so far here tonight. And we'll see how the Hurricanes respond. Remember just moments ago, that offensive drive was set up. Line drive kick bounced off of one of the front men here on the kick return team. And the Hawks got it right back. So we'll see what happens here. Ball is kicked. Will go to Oscar Davis, number 4. He will field it at the 4. Davis gets upfield. Flag is out. Out of bounds just past the 30. Flag is down at about the 14. And it will be a hold against the Hurricanes.
I was expecting the illegal sideline block, but no.
Illegal block, the call against the Hurricanes. Flag is near the 14-yard line.
And now Brooklyn's going to have a long way to go.
So as far as the time of possession battle, we have not seen Brooklyn much at all on offense this quarter. This game so far is that ball be spotted at the 7. But here in this opening quarter, the only touchdown was from a kick return. Brooklyn offensively went 3 and out. We have not seen Brooklyn at all offensively in this quarter.
The speed and the strength of this Hawken defense is getting pressure.
Here's a run on, trying to go to the outside, trying to reverse back, and going. Flag comes out. Smith will be out of bounds at the 26. Smith, the ball carrier, but a flag is out. So Marion Smith is trying to take off. But that will be coming back all the way to the 2. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter.
The penalty against the Hurricanes, half the distance to the goal.
So that penalty, half distance to the go. So first and long coming up from the 2. Handoff inside. Back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And the clock will roll down. 5 seconds of counting, and that will be the last play of the first quarter. So we are at the end of the first quarter. Hawken Hawks 21, Brooklyn Hurricanes 7. I don't know about you, Rico. It's kind of an odd feeling to this game because, again, offensively, we have not seen the Hurricanes on offense at all. And maybe part of it with the flow completely with this football game has been a number of penalties on both sides.
Number of penalties on both sides. Despite those penalties, it seems Hawkins still finds a way to get back in scoring position and capitalize on scoring despite the penalties that they have. Brooklyn, when their penalties cost them, it really cost them because they haven't figured out how to maybe use their their strengths to their advantages with this Hawken defense because they're all over them. Everywhere they go, it's like no matter how far you stretch the field, Hawken is right there.
Yeah, they definitely are, and you see that with the speed here throughout. So a couple things that's at stake here for this game. The Brooklyn Hurricanes out of the CVC Metro Division, Hawken out of the CVC Valley Division. So divisional matchups, divisional placement on the line here. Brooklyn, Division 6, Region 21. They are the 13th seed currently in that region for the playoffs. Meanwhile, Hawken, the 15th seed in Division 3, Region 9. Now remember, and again, this change was made back in 2020, top 16 in each region makes the postseason after Week 10. So the winner of this game is going to be huge as far as playoff positioning. But both teams obviously focusing on getting better week to week. Here is a throw, incomplete. That was intended for Davis. As Basinger threw it out of the end zone.
That was excellent coverage by Greg Price.
Yeah, Greg Price kind of right on it there. Almost forcing Davis to kind of step out of bounds there a little bit there.
That was excellent coverage, not letting him pinning him between him and the sideline. Basinger tried to put it where only his man could get it, but
has that opportunity. It's a big one here. 3rd and 16. 7 seconds into the second quarter. Under center. We'll just try to keep it here just to get out of the end zone to set up a safer punt. 4th down coming up, and Brooklyn will punt. So the Hurricanes trying to get the big play as the temperature is starting to really drop here tonight. The players don't mind. The players, you're already warmed up, ready to go. You're playing. I mean, you're out there going. Punt is up. That will go away from Johnson and will take a good row to the 39.
That's what Northeast Ohio high school football is all about. This is the last weekend in September.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it in our pregame hit on social media about how, look, everyone in Northeast Ohio has faced this with the weather. 2 days ago, it was 85, 86 degrees, and these players were out here practicing. And today at kickoff, it's 55 degrees. So the 30-degree drop, even for these players, that has to be an adjustment for these guys as well.
Oh, it's definitely a big adjustment, especially when you're going from, you know how this Ohio weather is. It's hot, then it's cold, then it snows, then it rains, then it's hot again, all in the same week in Ohio.
Some cases the same day.
Right.
Here's a throw over the middle. Caught. That is caught inside the 5 for Mangini. Luke Mangini over the middle in the seam, setting up a 1st and goal.
Just a busted coverage. Nobody deep over the middle to put a stop, to put a man. And Mangini was able to catch that ball in the open zone and almost had a touchdown.
Mangini, junior, 6 foot even, 200 pounds, big man. Here is Johnson on the left side. Dominic Johnson, touchdown. His 3rd rush touchdown of the night, 4th overall. With 10:29 to go in the second quarter.
They started off the second quarter with a touchdown. As soon as they got the ball back, 2 big plays, boom, touchdown.
And just a field position battle, we talked about it. And so far here in this first half, Hawken with the type of possession and making the necessary big plays. Extra point is booted and good.
Kick is good at the 10:29 mark.
Trevor's kick
Score the Hawken
is
Hawks
good.
nine, Brooklyn Hurricanes 7.
Let me turn the attention to Lucas Brandt, the quarterback. What we have seen with his arm strength and also with his athleticism running the football, I've been very impressed from the first-year quarterback, junior quarterback in Lucas Brandt.
It's all about that confidence thing. He wouldn't have that if it wasn't, I'm not to say he wouldn't have that. Let me take that back. I think what the coaches instill in these kids is that, hey, you could go out here. You can do this. And I think once, they taught him the system, it boosts him up, I believe.
And we've seen it just here today, his confidence just in the course of a quarter and a minute of change here in the second quarter, we've seen his confidence levels just continue to rise. His decision-making has been impressive here tonight, and he's been able to lead this offense down the field along with Johnson.
Well, I think it's just a lot of, studying in the film, a lot of time in the film, and just, a lot of time reading and learning coverages. And the more you're around it, the more you see it, the more you're used to it. And it's like, oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do. Bink.
Here's a squid kick here, and that will be fielded at the 23. Rolling out here, Smith. Smith trying to create space and go. Ball comes out. Ball comes out. Hawks will have the football. 10-18 in the second quarter, and the ball came right out and recovered by Hawken.
Hawken figured out the special teams of the Hurricane, and they forced the second turnover on special teams.
Well, I will say this, though, as we're getting ready for change of possession here. Brooklyn, a lot of talented kids on the field just throughout. And this is all part of a learning experience. They're learning how to make things happen. But this is obviously you're facing adversity. They got to see how they respond. Here's the snap. Brandt rolling out to the right side. Under pressure. Good pressure by the Hurricanes. Brandt about 20 yards deep downfield. Missed tackle. Brandt gets down. Oscar Davis, and a huge loss defensively after Brandt was not able to find anyone downfield.
That was an excellent coverage sack once again by this secondary of this Hurricane defense. Lucas Brandt had absolutely nowhere to go on that play, and it was only a matter of time before the front seven would get to him and make the sack.
2nd and 22, 9:35 to go, second quarter. And we talk about, hey, football, you move on. What are you going to do the next play?
Short memory.
2nd and 21 officially for Brandt. Brandt still under pressure. Throws incomplete.
Brandt's pass is incomplete, intended for Mangini.
Mangini, the intended target. Davis was there under pressure. Watkins was there as well. Watkins, one of the senior leaders who you saw at the CVC Media Days earlier this season. 3rd and 21 coming up.
Continue to play loose. You're seeing some success. A lot of coverage sacks.
Hear a lot of talking down on the field. 3rd and 21. Johnson will get the carry. Johnson makes up a lot of those yards. Johnson out of bounds. First down.
Johnson, the ball carrier.
Just when you think you got him,
Coburn forces him out of bounds.
it just when you think you have him, it's like.
And that's that learning experience with the Hurricanes, as it's going to be first to go from the 7-yard line.
I think
young team.
I think Brooklyn was just expecting pass and forgot to account for Johnson, who just put him back in the red zone, actually inside the 10.
Yes, so they are lined up about the 7 or 8 yard line. First and go.
Flag prior to the snap.
And we're going to have a flag and a false start against the Hawks.
Put the ball down at the 12-yard line.
I'll tell you one thing that probably will be addressed at halftime in the Hawks locker room, and it's going to be the penalties.
Oh, yes. Yes, the penalties. And
here is Johnson with the carry. And immediately brought down a few yards on that play. But defensively, Smith was in there making a stop. So we got a couple substitutions here.
He's brought down at the 10-yard line, 2-yard gain.
So that was a gain of 2. Second and go from the 10 coming up. 8:35 to go and counting. Let's get any instructions.
it's going to be interesting to see how Hawken handles this situation. 2nd and 10 now.
Flag comes out. Another false start
Flag prior to the snap.
against the Hawks.
False start against the Hawks.
And
10 on 5 more yards. Ball spot at the 50.
Coach Ian Marino will call timeout.
Timeout on the field. Hawks timeout.
So that is the Hawks' first timeout of this game with 8:22 to go in the second quarter. Again, our broadcast brought to you by the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Go to ChagrinValleyConference.com, you can see a live scoreboard update across all the games going on at Chagrin Valley Conference. Again, ChagrinValleyConference.com. And I'm not kidding either. When you go to the website right now, and you could go see the scoreboard update. Really cool. You can also see on ChagrinValleyConference.com the CVC Athletes of the Week. You can see that coming up on ChagrinValleyConference.com. 2nd and go from the 15. Brandt will keep it. Brandt has room. Brandt loses the ball. And the Hurricanes recover.
Fumble on the play.
So a break for Brooklyn
Fumble recovered by the Hurricanes.
as Brandt lost the football and Brooklyn gets the football back.
These Brooklyn Hurricanes will fight. I mean, they had a come-from-behind victory last week, so don't think that Brooklyn is just going to take this lying down. They will fight.
Again, most of their points from last week, we got 8:13 to go in the second quarter. Most of their points from last week against Wycliffe came in the second half. So you give Brooklyn an opportunity. Brooklyn really, honestly, play is stopped.
Time on the field, Hurricane timeout.
And Brooklyn will call timeout. So that will be their last timeout of the first half. So I will say this, though, here. Double A Anthony Alford, Rico McGee here with you. This is CVC TV Game of the Week. As you see there, zoomed in, the quarterback, Jaden Bassinger there, number 1. We haven't seen Brooklyn on offense really at all in this game. So Brooklyn, just think of that huge sack. They gave up the big run to Johnson, but getting the fumble, they're starting to get some breaks here. Starting to see there may be an opening here. It might be slim, but there's an opening here for the Hurricanes.
You know what? They're getting some breaks, and I think their confidence is that sack really began to light a fire up under them, and I believe it began to motivate them. And I think they're starting to see, okay, what else you got? What else you got, you know?
We talked to Coach McFarland of Brooklyn before the game, and just talk about, like, the culture and just, you know, these guys are a family with the Brooklyn Hurricanes. Here's a run up the gut, about a yard gain here. But we hear that with football programs. I remember, you know, playing for coaches, and they emphasize, hey, we're not just a team, we're a family. And Coach McFarland for the Brooklyn Hurricanes, they want to establish that family culture And even through adversity, kind of seeing that here tonight.
Still coming together, still rallying together. You've been punched in the mouth, so now you just have to get up off that floor and keep fighting.
Quarterback under center loses the football. I think he got it back. He did get it back.
Basinger falls on the snap.
As Basinger
Play of 1 yard, 3rd down and 10.
loss of a yard. He fell on his own snap there. Again, we are live here in Brooklyn. 3rd and 10. Drop it back. Throw incomplete. In and out of the hands of Davis.
Oscar Davis. Incompletion will bring up 4th down.
And the punting unit comes out to the field.
Really hard to get anything going. They're just you have to find look deep within you and just find something to get going offensively.
Again, coming up at halftime, you will hear from the marching bands. CVC TV game of the week. By that for you coming up at the half. Low snap. Punt. And will be fielded at the 23 as the Hawks sideline scream Rico's favorite word on special teams. So again, Brooklyn coming in 3-2, Hawken 4-1. Hawken, their only loss this year was back in early September against Gilmore. It was 41-34 loss, but every game, Hawken talked about it in the media days, their ability to put up points on the board. They wanted their defense to match the capabilities of the offense. Brandt, pass deflected, incomplete.
Defense starting to show some light now. They're beginning to fight.
Yeah, you're seeing a little bit there with the defense, 6:52 to go in the second quarter.
They're looking to clog up these passing lanes and get pressure on Lucas Brandt.
So right back at it, 2nd and 10. 3 receivers at the near side. Hand off to Robinson. Robinson gets a good cut. Gets the first down. Down at about the 6. Down at about the 6-yard line. And the Hawks back in the red zone. Again, Dominic Johnson with all 4 of the Hawks' touchdowns. 3 on the ground, 1 through the air. Robinson will keep it. Getting the drive down at about the 2. 2nd to go coming up. And we have an injury on the field. So the officials will attend to that. 6:19 to go here in the second quarter of action. So back up here, AA Anthony Alpha, Rico McGee here with you. So for the Hawks, offensively, we see some great things for the Hawks offensively throughout. We mentioned as far as dominating the time of possession, and it's been playing out here tonight on the field.
Execute. They studied the film. They understood the assignment, and they're going out there, and thus far they've been handling business offensively.
Yeah, they really have here as they keep going. I want to mention a little bit here again, ChagrinValleyConference.com. Steve Hare does an outstanding job, the entire website, all of these. But we've been fortunate to see a few of these athletes over throughout our time at CVC TV this year. Christian Cunningham of Edgewood, one of the guys, athletes of the week last week, caught 6 passes, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a 79-yard punt return for a touchdown. The senior Christian Cunningham, he put in good work for Edgewood. We saw them back in week 2. And a guy that made things happen last week. Jonas Honeycutt, one of the guys of the Athlete of the Week. 5 passes, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, and defensively 14 tackles. Remember, last week he had the touchdown-saving tackle last week against Martez Pinckney that would have put Beechwood up by a touchdown. They had to hold on for a field goal, so he's one of the guys. Also, Walter Moses of Perry. We saw he's a sophomore, Walter Moses. Saw him a little bit in action last year, but he was 17 of 23, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions. So congratulations to them. Also, Elijah Southern from Bookshire, 2 attempts, 12 yards, a touchdown, 4 passes, 57 yards, and 8 tackles, including 2 for a loss, 1 sack, and picked off 2 passes. So on the football side of things, those were the CVC Athletes of the Week.
These athletes are – this is just not a one-trick society we live in. These athletes are asked to do any and everything, especially in high school football. Reminds me of a kid named Jordan Mabin back in high school who was a running back and a corner. And not only would he run the ball down your throat, but you weren't going to get very far. You weren't going to beat him deep either.
Yeah, and definitely having that opportunity throughout here. So player is up, helped by his teammates. And again, we talked about it. I think our own Kevin Arnold, he says it best every week. These players, they work very hard week in and week out, and injuries are really, really tough. But you just applaud all these athletes, student athletes, what they have to do in the classrooms Monday through Friday. Well, and the parents Saturday and Sunday. You better get the homework done. But also balancing that out as well as what they do on the field and then practice. You know, one of the things, you know, Coach McFarland talked with us, like these young kids, workout warriors, you know, they love the weight room. And you find a football team that loves the weight room, I mean, that really, it gets going.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
So, again, tending to the player coming off the field. So, we'll have a few moments here before we resume action. 6:19 to go in the second quarter. It's going to be 2nd and go when we resume here in the CVC TV game of the week. Mentioned the temperature difference between last week and this week, a 20-degree difference, 25-degree difference between this week and last week. High snap, Brandt will look to throw. Brandt under pressure, running backwards, will throw to the end zone, and that's a touchdown for the Hawks. And that's for Grazel for the score.
With the exception of the fumble, Hawken has not left any points off the board every time they get in the red zone. And that's another touchdown for the Hawken Hawks.
And we have seen Grazel, Danny Grazel, put in work, the senior receiver and cornerback, number 17, and he gets his touchdown here tonight.
Letting that ball spread. Everybody's getting a chance with the ball now. The chemistry of this Hawken offense is amazing.
Extra point is good for Javoris. And the score is now Hawken 35, Brooklyn 7, with 6:04 to go in the second quarter of play. And again, these are the games where you just kind of got to work through everything. Both teams. Even if you're leading by this much, you still got to work through things.
Still have to make adjustments. You know, still have to, you know, because it's only one half of football. You know, once that second half starts, it's 0-0.
Beautiful, beautiful stadium here. Nice turf. I believe it was put in a few years back, but just felt good being down on the field and for these players as well. Ball is kicked. Will go out of bounds. Remember earlier in the game, Cogburn had the kick return. Cogburn let that go out of bounds.
Just kick it away from those two returners at any cost. Your defense has been playing exceptional this second half. So I think look for the Hawken coaching staff to live with that penalty.
So the drive will start at the 35 for Brooklyn, which is their best field position spot of the game so far. Here's a little bit, some support from the home fans. See what they could do here. Snap, be carried. Try to create some space, some good cuts. Gave a few yards there for Smith.
Ryan Smith, the ball carrier, he's pushed out of bounds.
And that's out of bounds with 5:45 to go. 5:45 to go in quarter number 2. Second and 6 coming up.
Brooklyn looking to establish the running game, just trying to find some glimmer to get something going on offense because it has not gone their way thus far in this game.
So right back at it here, second and 6, 5:25 accounting. Got 3 receivers lined up near side, 1 at the top of the screen. Back to Smith. Getting some space. Tackled down by Mangini, but a first down for the Hurricanes.
And they're looking like they're finding something. They saw something. Something's being exploited, and they're picking up some positive yards on the ground.
Yeah, a couple of plays intended to go like up the middle and try to cut back out to the left side. So you are seeing some opportunities here, Rico.
Couple of opportunities, couple of holes, you know. Just being patient as a runner, waiting for those blocks to develop.
So now you got trips at the top of the screen. Single receiver near side. Back over to Smith. Smith cuts back to the left. Gets another good cut. Gets the first down. Smith out of bounds at the 39.
Smith, the ball carrier.
So 4:31 to go. Brooklyn finally getting good field position. Try to take advantage of it on this drive.
First and 10, Hurricanes.
Getting their instructions. We're at the top of the hour. We're watching CVC TV. Hawken versus Brooklyn, our game of the week. Anthony Alford, Rico McGee, our entire CVC TV crew, all here in Brooklyn, just right off 480 and Ridge Road. From the 39. Back to Smith. Smith cuts to the right. Smith tries to keep his footing, goes down. He wanted more. He thought he could have got more. He's down at the 31.
You could tell by the frustration in his face. He wanted more on that play, and he had a big lot of field, just couldn't keep his balance, but he keeps those chains moving.
And as they're going, again, we're here in Brooklyn just to illustrate the footprint of the Chagrin Valley Conference. We're at the western point of this conference here in Hawken County, just south of Cleveland. Goes all the way east to Ashtabula Lakeside.
It's a mini NFL.
Smith again. This time, the defense was there, but he'll be out of bounds at the 28. And a first down for the Hurricanes. 3:41 in the second quarter. But, yeah, you want to talk about the footprint of this conference. What, Asheville, Lakeside. You know, we were at Grand Valley a few weeks back, going east there. Ashtabula County, so you're traveling. But as the Hawks call timeout, but for these kids and the coaching staffs to be able to go to different areas in Northeast Ohio, that's a lot of great experience for these young men.
A lot of great experience. You're getting to see talent from 3 different counties, honestly. I mean, you got Cuyahoga County schools that are part of the CVC, Ashtabula County, a few more counties, and it's definitely excellent to see.
Geauga County, Lake County. It's like, do you know if you have to travel on 480 this week or Interstate 90 or you take it Mayfield Road? What's going on this week? You know,
you said it's tolls that way.
What? What? What about Route 2? What happened? No, that's fantastic.
Might catch us down to Route 8 one day.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's fantastic. Got Independence and Cuyahoga Heights. Well, we was just in Independence a few weeks back for CVC TV. So you definitely see the footprint all over, and you see it in our schedule and our games each and every week here on CVC TV. Through football, all the different sports. Here is a throw down to the end zone, and incomplete. No flag.
May have been an interception. He just didn't turn his head around quick enough to locate the ball.
Yeah, Oscar Davis was the intended target, and that was defended cleanly there by Greg Price, who you've mentioned earlier in this game, putting in work defensively.
He's a man you're not going to beat deep. You might have to catch him on an under route, maybe a 5-yard hitch, 3-yard slant, maybe something like that. But I don't think footstep for footstep, he's one of the toughest corners to beat in the league.
2nd and 10, 3:33 to go. High snap, but corralled. And the keeper running. Cogburn. The ball carrier. One. Ball be down to 24. We're seeing a little bit of smoke in the air. Nothing to worry about. It's the concession stand and Rico's cheeseburgers being made to order.
I ate my burger before the social media hit. I was hungry.
3rd and 6. Under 3 minutes to go. 2:50 to go. Roll it out to the left side. Throw incomplete. Clock stops with 2:45 to go in the second quarter. 4th and 6, coming up.
Sideline warning has been issued against the Hawks.
So 4th and 6 upcoming.
4th down for the Hurricanes.
If you're the Hawks defensively, what's the key thing you're telling your defense right now?
Watch the play action. Watch any fakes. Watch anything underneath.
Get 4th and 6. Ball snap. Under pressure and down. Turnover on downs. A herd of defenders for Hawken as they set the house. Mangini, one of the guys there.
They set everybody. They knew what was coming, and they wanted to get pressure and attack that offensive line.
38-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Hawks.
So a turnover on downs, and the Hawks now on offense. So 2:40 to go. Ball snap. Brandt set up the screen to Johnson. Johnson will take off. Dominic Johnson, once again, will score the touchdown.
There is a flag on the play, though. I think it's coming back. I think it's an illegal block in the back.
Yep.
Or holding call.
Yep, flag is on the 44. The officials will discuss it. Everyone's walking back, so wait for the official ruling here. Again, that was Johnson on the screen, but a flag down, and the officials are discussing it. Brandt calling for his team, and it's a hold against the offense and a block in the back. So the holding penalty was declined, a block in the back stands.
Holding is declined. A block in the back is accepted. Ball be spotted at the 31-yard
And
line for the Hawks.
ball be spotted at the 31.
Sideline warning has been issued against the Hurricanes.
So now 1st and long coming up. Again, you'll hear from the bands coming up at halftime. First and 17 from the 31. Brandt will keep it. And he is down at about the 31. As we are approaching 2:10 to go in the second quarter.
In the second half, I think Brooklyn should just come out and just have fun. You know, just have fun. Just play loose. You don't have anything to lose. You know, just come out there and have some fun. Just have fun.
Man motions. Brandt looking. He has to roll out. Ball is caught, but right on it and brought down. Right there, Brooklyn. There, Anthony Starr making a play defensively. 90 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Ball is placed down at the 30-yard line. 3rd down for the Hawks.
3rd and long coming up.
Hawken speed and Hawken is just exciting to watch. Just an exciting football team. But with that drive that Brooklyn put together on their last possession, they showed that they have some athletes too. Don't sleep on Brooklyn.
And Hawken taking their time. We're under a minute to go and counting in the second quarter. Hawken has 1 timeout remaining.
Timeout on the field.
And they'll use their last timeout.
Fans reminded the
Brooklyn,
Boosters are manning the
no
first
timeouts
drill. Coming down
remaining.
the Burger, half hour
So
flag.
50 seconds to go
Sign is also stopped
here
with Pepsi products.
in the second quarter. I want to go back to the point that you made just about a few seconds ago, Rico, and kind of elaborate on it. You said for Brooklyn, next half, you want them to have fun. Kind of talk about why and the importance of that message.
Because when you look at the scoreboard, it's going to look daunting. You're not going to want to play anymore. You're kind of going to just give up on yourself. When that second half starts, it's 0-0. Go out there and play like you're not even down. Don't give up. It's not 35-7, it's 0-0 when that third quarter starts. So just go out there and play loose. Don't have fun.
Meanwhile, if you're the Hawks, no, I'm serious though. If you're the Hawks and you're in the locker room, they got to execute as well. Same thing.
Yes. I mean, go out there and do what you've done. Continue to feed Johnson. Get Lucas involved. You know, let that ball. Everybody just.
Brandt under pressure. He'll throw it down the field. Johnson's open. Johnson catches it. Dominic Johnson out of bounds at the 34.
Take out of bounds immediately. Ball be spotted at the 34-yard line.
Out of bounds by Nelson.
First down, 1st and 10 for the Hawks.
41 seconds to go. The one thing I will say, though, if you can score just as many points on the other side. Here's a throw is caught down at the 27. Robinson. And Hawks will run hurry up. Again, they have no timeouts. Hawks have no timeouts remaining here in this second quarter. Johnson off the jet sweep.
Dominic Johnson, the ball carrier.
First down.
He's tripped up.
Clock briefly stops to move the chains. 15 seconds and counting. And ball is spiked. 13 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Ball placed at the 23. And we'll have an official's timeout for a Brooklyn injury. So as they attend to that, we got to mention this before the Hawks drive down the field. The one thing that will be addressed, we think, in that Hawks locker room in the half, great first half as far as putting points on the board and doing the things you need to do. But the penalties kind of cleaned up in the second quarter a little bit, but overall has to be cleaned up.
Overall has to be cleaned up. A lot of mental errors that put them back, and you can't always just get it all back in one possession, especially come playoff time when the games get tougher and the teams get tougher, and they're going to be able to sift that out, and they're going to capitalize on your mistakes.
And again, do not go anywhere at halftime. You will hear from both marching bands, Hawken and Brooklyn. Hawken as the road team, they'll go first, followed by the Hurricanes. So you will hear from both bands coming up at halftime. Love that we do that every week because marching bands, they're just part of this Friday night experience as everyone else. And you get to see them featured each and every single Friday right here on CVC TV.
Honestly, I believe without the marching band, you don't have much of that Friday night experience. Like the marching band, you have the game, of course, but it's not as lit without the marching band.
Yeah, and they travel with you. They're with you even, the playoffs, everything. They are with you every game, every step of the way. And we see some of the best bands here at the Chagrin Valley Conference, and we are honored to feature them each and every single game. Halftime, the pregame festivities, see that as well. 13 seconds before halftime. I think the temperature is going to dip into the 40s before the end of this game. Outside pressure. Brandt rolls out to the left side. Brandt caught under pressure. Ball comes out. Brooklyn has it. And with 4 seconds to go, the Brooklyn Hurricanes, ball recovered by Watkins. And Brooklyn will have one play to make something happen.
Way to provide that spark defensively. Get the ball back to your offense with 4 seconds. Now you go into halftime with some momentum.
And I'll tell you what, you just saw that on the replay. If Watkins is not having fun there, just handing the ball off to the referee the way that he just did, I mean, that's incredible. It's like finding any type of momentum if you're the Hurricanes. And it happened defensively just now.
Still got to leave it all on the field until that clock hits 000.
So one play here, 4 seconds to go before halftime. Got 3 receivers up top. And we're going to have a false start.
Flag prior to the snap. Dead ball ball start against the Hurricanes.
And it'll be against Brooklyn. So they were lined up at the 39. They will now be lined up at the 34.
Ball be spotted at the 34-yard line.
So one play. If Brooklyn were to, I think because of that penalty, they're gonna kneel and take it to the locker room. We are at halftime. The Hawken Hawks 35, the Brooklyn Hurricanes 7. Real quick before we send it over to the bands. Rico, let's start with the Hawks. And first half, as good as advertised, Dominic Johnson, Lucas Brandt putting in work.
Putting in work and doing what they do best, running that ball and making defenses sweat like they have been all season. Expect for it to not slow down. They're not going to show any signs of slowing down in the second half. For Brooklyn, like I said before, just go out there, play loose, play comfortable, and just pretend it's not even 35-7. It's 0-0.
Our broadcast brought to you by the Ohio Center for Oral Facial and Implant Surgery. The Hawks up against the Hurricanes, 35-7. Double A Anthony Alfarico McGee. We'll be back with you in just a moment. But now we turn it over to the marching bands at halftime.
Things off with a fiery Latin opener featuring the trumpet and trombone duet of Aaron Sharp and Florence Soko. Feel the heat as senior trumpet soloist Carson Artem adds fuel to the fire with Santana. Welcome back to the field, the 2022 new edition of the Dirty Dozen Drumline Plus One. And they take center stage beneath the stadium lights. With a dynamic duo of sisters Shariah and Desiree Gales on marimba and xylophone, and the percussive gymnastics of senior soloists Angel Hernandez and Phil Leff on snare, as well as Derek Ross on tenors. Watch and listen closely as we put this machine into the spin cycle with Tactical Instinct. Soak up the spotlight to the hit. This hit from Olivia Rodrigo's 2021 debut album, Sour. Under the leadership of senior captains Elaine Fernandez and Jenny Young, the Hurricanes take it to the 50-yard line, wishing you well. Hoping you're happy and healthy, knowing it's all good for you. In the early 90s, Green Day brought back the sound of punk rock for a new generation. Their 1997 album Nimrod took a different route with a slower, sweeter ballad and the restrained crooning voice of Billy Joe Armstrong. The marching band draws this evening's show to a close, featuring the trombone stylings of Florence Sokol. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Hurricanes Marching Band. The Marching Band would like to thank the Brooklyn Music Boosters, the Brooklyn Board of Education, and the City of Brooklyn for their continued support. We are Brooklyn. OH! Go Canes!
It is halftime here in Brooklyn as the Brooklyn Hurricanes find themselves down against the Hawken Hawks 35-7. And our game of the week again brought to you by the Ohio Center for Orofacial and Implant Surgery. The Hawks are back on the field warming up, and we're starting to see members of the Canes coming back out to the football field. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Double A Anthony Alfred, Rico McGee here with you as we're inching close to the start of the third quarter. And, Rico, let's start with the Hawks. Your takeaways from what you saw in the first half of this football game.
Hawkins just came out here with a mission, and that was just to execute, and that's what they've done. They have executed. Dominic Jones has been a force. 4 touchdowns already on the ground. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 1 in the air. Lucas Brandt playing excellent, lights out. The Hawken defense has been stingy, to say the very least, allowing just 7 points in the first half. I think look for Hawkins to continue to feed Dominic the ball, and for Lucas to find the open man, get him going. They did. Now, Brooklyn was able to force a turnover in the first half, at the end of the first half, and look for them to continue to try to get pressure on Brandt, because they're playing more and more confident as this game rolls along.
And they are. And we're talking about here in the second half, fun, having their fun, doing their thing, that kind of thing with Brooklyn. So at halftime, adjustments-wise, because we haven't really seen the Hurricanes at all offensively until the second portion of the second quarter. What do you want to see from them in the second half offensively?
I would like to see them run the ball more. When they ran the ball, they were able to get into Hawken territory, but when they decided to pass, it was a lot of coverage sacks. The zones were very well covered. There was nowhere to go through the air for Brooklyn. So I want to see them run the ball a little bit more, because that's where they had a lot of their success for the Brooklyn offense.
So we're about inching close to starting the third quarter of play. Again, check out ChagrinValleyConference.com. Get all of your latest updates, live scoreboard updates throughout Chagrin Valley Conference and CVC TV. Want to also say this is a complete team effort up here as well. I appreciate it. Got some got hand warmer weather here today.
Temperature is just now under 60, so, yeah, those might come through clutch. Next week I'm going to bring some gloves, though.
You know what's crazy? So one of my favorite teachers way back in the day, Mr. Stewart, he was also the girls track and field coach at Maple. He said to us one day, he was like, our bodies do not know what the difference between hot and cold. I'm like, what do you mean? I can tell you right now if it's hot or cold. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, if you experience a huge, like, temperature increase or temperature drop, your body does not adjust to it as easily. Like, well, right now it's in the 50s. If it was mid-January and it's in the 50s, you take that all day. Wear summer clothes. But when it was 80-something degrees just 2 days ago, and now it's in the 50s, it's different. It's different. And it's something that these players are going to be facing here as they're warming up in the cold temps for the first time coming out of the locker room.
Yep.
So we are right back on it as I reach down and grab my depth charts, which also in the cold is a little bit tougher to grab when you have it on the ground. A little squid kick, and it's just falling on it. Smart play there for the Hawks, just falling right on that. Garza there.
The Hawks fall on the kickoff at their own 38.
So they're going to start at their own 38, the Hawks.
First and 10 for the Hawks.
One thing that we did notice towards the tail end of the second half, Brant has been under pressure a lot more as the ball is carried by Robinson. Robinson has a good cut there, gets the first down, gaining about 16 yards.
Another big run for this Hawken offense. They're going to look to try to just run, maybe not run the clock out in the third quarter, but they're going to keep the ball on the ground.
The one thing I was going to mention, though, real quick, just to tell that in the second half, Brant has had to spin out under pressure. And Brooklyn sensed the blitz, but there's Robinson again. Robinson with a good cut, stays on his feet, will still be on his feet, and he's down at the 17.
For the Hurricanes, ball goes across the 20 near the 18, 17-yard line on the spot.
So I'll tell you what, Emmanuel Robinson, the junior tailback, he wants his action too, and he's getting it here in this third quarter.
Getting a lot of action, and now this Hurricane defense has more than just Dominic Johnson to worry about.
Dominic Johnson lines up. Number one is the wideout. Robinson under center, flags down. Multiple flags come down. And it will be against the offense. And it's a false start against the Hawks. Just underway here. 10:47 and counting. Third quarter. First to 15. Brant looking, throws to the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Johnson, Cogburn right there.
Broken up by Ramir Cogburn, incompletion.
Great coverage by Ramir. Stop that play and stop this lead from getting bigger.
Second to 15 coming up. From the 23. Again, we are live here in Brooklyn. Just right off of Interstate 480 Ridge Road. There goes Robinson. Emmanuel Robinson working past the 10.
Mangini, the ball carrier, the initial hit.
Mangini, excuse me, was the ball carrier.
Nelson.
Nelson with the tackle.
Ball be spotted inside
and
the 5-yard line.
A first down. Excuse me, that was incomplete. Wrong on my end. It's third down. Third is short. So third is short. Dominic Johnson gets the carry. And now that'll be a first down.
7 or 8 yard line. Gain on the play results in the first down. First and goal for the Hawks.
First and goal coming up. Under 10 minutes to go, about 9:46 to go and counting. Third quarter. Hawken Hawks. And it looks like that's going to be on the defense.
Looked like an encroachment.
The officials will discuss it. They'll put in a good conference.
Oh.
No, they're going to rule it a false start. False start against the Hawks.
Spots the ball near the 12-yard line.
I saw what you saw there, Rico, man, in the encroachment zone there, but it was through reaction.
Wow.
So it's going to be first to go from the 12. Clock running, 9:20. Third quarter. Brant. Under pressure. Brant gets out of it. Brant goes down.
What a hit.
Dylan Smith supplies the hit
And Smith
to Lucas Brent.
making a play defensively. Dylan Smith.
Ball spotted at the 11.
Second and goal from the 11 coming up.
That pressure once again. The secondary making sure these receivers are well blanketed, not giving Lucas Brant many options. The defense once again coming up with a big hit on that play.
Robinson motions. Ball comes out. Brant under pressure. Throws it, and it's intercepted! Intercepted by the Hurricanes! Down just before the 40. So under pressure,
Aiden Baston.
Baston with the INT.
That right there was just an example of just doing what you're supposed to do, knowing your assignments, getting to the quarterback. Already a bad snap. Brant tried to get rid of it, and the defense was there for the pickoff.
So he was there to do so there. So Brooklyn now offense, their first opening drive here. Now lined up at quarterback. See the number here in just a sec. Rolling out. It's going to be a straight run. Cogburn. Cogburn's at quarterback. Cogburn will cut upfield. Cogburn, who had the kick return touchdown, the lone score for Brooklyn, has it. Now,
Puts the ball at the Hurricane 40.
Basinger,
Second down and 3.
he is not in right now. And I believe he's iced up there on the sidelines.
Yeah, he took a hard hit early in the second.
Yes.
Landed on his shoulder awkwardly.
Yeah, that's it. So here is the carry on the left side, and the Hawks are right there. Ruled down. He is ruled down. Smith was ruled down.
41-yard line.
So Ramir Cogburn is now in a quarterback due to the injury to Jaden Basinger. And as Rico just mentioned, again, just the shoulder hit right before halftime could have did it. 3rd and 7. We're at 6:36 and counting, third quarter. Cogburn will throw. Picked off. Picked off by Johnson. Johnson cuts inside. Dominic Johnson, touchdown.
Johnson pass is intercepted by Dominic Johnson, who returns the ball to the end zone. Touchdown.
That is Dominic Johnson's 5th total touchdown of the game. 3 on the ground, 1 through the air, and a pick 6.
You can't coach him. Just something about him is special. You can't coach that. He just knew exactly where to be. I mean, a prayer was just thrown up, and nobody was in the vicinity but Johnson, so he was able to just snag it and then to take it back.
They're going to have to fake it here. Brant's the holder. Brant goes backwards, tosses it in the air. And
no good.
No good.
6:15 mark.
So with 6:15 to go in the third quarter, Hawken Hawks 41, the Brooklyn Hurricanes 7. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you by the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery, this year's title sponsor for CVC TV. Their practice diagnoses and treats facial pain and injuries, and also offers a full range of dental implants and bone grafting procedures. Look no further than the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all of your oral surgery and cosmetic surgery needs. Please visit their website, ohsurgery.com. That's ohsurgery.com. So, Brooklyn, without their quarterback, their starting quarterback, Cogburn in a passing situation, just had to throw it up, pick 6.
That's that Hawkins defense getting pressure on the quarterback, forcing him to make a bad decision with the ball that he didn't want to do, that he didn't want to make, excuse me. And Dominic Johnson made him pay.
So the Hurricanes will get the football back. Squid kick down the middle, fielded at the 31. Brooklyn gets a few yards there as Aiden Nelson returned it. And it's brought down about the 36, 37. So clock continues to run here, 5:50 to go in the third quarter and counting.
Fans reminder per Ohio High School Athletic Association rules. Now that we have reached a 30-point differential, the clock continues to run, except for injuries, timeouts, and scores.
So new possession coming up here. Yeah, right now, clock is running. Will still run. And we'll see how Brooklyn responds here. Second offensive drive of the second half. 5:25 to go and counting. Third quarter, Hurricanes back on offense. Cogburn will take off. On the run. Caught at the perimeter. Cogburn cuts up. Will be down at about the 40.
You want to know how good this Hawkins offense is? Hawkins has been outscoring opponents 210 to 96 through the first 5.5 games of this season.
Yeah, and we mentioned it earlier. Offensively, they have the playmakers. We see it here tonight. They have the playmakers, even Emmanuel Robinson, who's been putting in work here tonight. They have those playmakers. Defensively, they wanted their defense to catch up to the efforts of their offense, and tonight is showing.
It's showing a lot.
Here is Rugg, few extra yards.
This Brooklyn offense hasn't been able to get much going.
Christopher Shea on the hit for the Hawks.
Chris Shea with the hit. Smith had the carry. 4:11 to go in counting third quarter.
Third down and a long 2.
3rd and 2 coming up. And you mentioned it, yeah, just outscoring the opponents. And that's key. That's very key with the Hawks because they don't let the foot off the gas. 3rd and 2. Cogburn. Will that be enough? He might have been denied there.
Jack Ballard on the hit.
Defense was there. Redmond was there, but that'll be just enough for a first down.
48-yard line.
Now this clock continues to run. Brooklyn running out of options and just desperately trying to find something to spark this offense, give this offense some life. And it's kind of hard when Hawkins just been all over everything.
Right back at it here, Smith. Smith gets some good cuts. Now, I'll tell you what, Marion Smith, his ability to run the football, he's seeing some good cuts out of him.
Excellent cuts. They have some great athletes, too.
46-yard line, 2nd down and 4.
2nd and 4 coming up. 2:36 and counting, third quarter. Brooklyn in the huddle, and he's just looking for that one good drive, that good sustained offensive drive down the field. You hear the sidelines for Hawken. They're calling run and a tackle for loss. Right there on that play, able to make that Christopher Shea. The senior making the play. One of their leaders. 2 minutes to go and counting, third quarter. So 3rd and 6 coming up. We talk in the pro level with the Browns about the operation of the offense. And here tonight, just this drive, Brooklyn coming out of the huddle, try to operate the offense with Cogburn under center. Throws down the field, incomplete.
Just trying to find something. Nowhere to go on that play.
Dominic Pytel, the intended target. But that was incomplete. Minute 13 to go, third quarter. 4th and 6.
Just putting in those younger guys now, it seems. Putting those younger guys and getting in them some game experience. You know, this is, you know, that a lot of this, a lot of the members of this team are freshmen and sophomores, and you know, it's important to get them some experience. You know, they'll grow from this, they'll learn from this.
So it looks like they are sitting out the punting unit, the Hurricanes, from midfield. Clock is at 37 seconds. Goes up. Johnson with the return. Dominic Johnson. Dominic Johnson still on his feet. Johnson still going. And out of bounds at midfield. This kid is unbelievable.
Fans reminded with some upcoming Brooklyn athletic schedule. Tomorrow, volleyball action returns.
And that's with 19 seconds to go in the third quarter. Next week, we will be in Chagrin Falls. Next week, that's Lakeside. Ashtabula Lakeside will take on Chagrin Falls. We'll have that for you next Friday night, 7 o'clock, right here on CVC TV, on YouTube, and on Chagrin Valley Conference. Should be a great, great matchup. Lakeside versus Chagrin Falls. Chagrin Falls, who for a long time, coached by Hawken head coach Mark Iamarino. Win against coach as we are at the end of the third quarter. Hawken 41, Brooklyn 7. So his record over at Chagrin Falls, 184 wins, 99 losses, 2 runner-ups in the States. He was in the Final Four for another season. And the culture he built at Chagrin Falls, spent the year last year as the offensive coordinator at Gilmore, and now he's the head coach of a Hawken Hawks football team that from start to right now has put in work from play one.
I actually had a conversation with a good friend of mine who had 2 sons that played football at Bedford, and we talked about some great coaches that came through Bedford. And one of the things he said is part of being a great coach is having a system that these kids can buy into. If these kids can buy into your system and they believe in you, they're going to want to play for you and they're going to want to win for you. And I think everywhere he goes, he instills something in these kids, and it just makes them all want to play harder.
Now, the one thing that was mentioned as well, you know, the thing with Hawken, obviously Hawken's a private institution, private school out of Gates Mills. And the one benefit, the one thing that's talked about, being able to, these kids, obviously they're not all from the exact same neighborhoods. So learning from different backgrounds, even at this age, is huge. We got a couple personnel changes as we got to run up the gut here. So in the game right now, the tailback who just ran the ball, Tristan Ruffin-Williams. He is the sophomore tailback for Hawken. And in at quarterback is freshman number 12, Donovan Moorhead. Number 12. He is operating the offense right now. So, throw down the field. That is incomplete. That was intended for freshman Ron Hill.
As long as he's there, I believe Hawken will get better and better and will improve.
So 4th and 5 coming up. Now, we mentioned this weeks ago, but I think it's important to mention here as Hawken will go for here. 4th and 5, 10-15 to go and counting. Receiver in motion. The keeper, first down for Mangini. Luke Mangini, the ball carrier. For some of the younger players who's in this game, you know, the scoreboard's not a factor, but as you know, this is the opportunity for these kids to show and perform and prove why they want to be on the field on Friday nights.
This is a chance for, you know, like you said, you know, the younger to, you know, get some game experience. You know, this is what it's like. This is what you want to do at the end of the night, of the day. Play up under these lights, play in front of these fans. Nobody wants to wake up Saturday morning.
Ball was just behind Ruffin-Williams.
You know, waking up to play a game is rough, trust me. I think, you know, and that's no knock to JV at all.
And that's where it starts. And the big part, having enough players to be able to play JV games each and every single week. And that's where it starts. One thing that was mentioned in the media days with Hawken and Coach Ian Marino, the youth program, ball is ran. Hawken will take off. Mangini still on his feet. Mangini will be still going, getting those extra yards moving. And those extra yards and their fans on the visitor side showing their appreciation for the extra yards being shown here in the fourth quarter.
Still playing. You play till the clock hits 000. I think that's something all coaches, I think that's something you learn before you even play, before you even put the pads on. You probably learned that in flag.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you do. And the thing I wanted to mention, too, but the young program, the youth program, 7th, 8th grade youth program, those kids, so they're set and ready to go. So this Hawken team, they're going to be good to go for a lot of years. Ball's put on the ground. Hawks will get it back. But it starts, it's amazing. The grassroots, I've seen every coach that emphasizes the 7th and 8th grade and freshman program, they're set up for success for a lot of years in their program.
Yep, because they develop those kids from a young age. You know, they're implemented.
You run the same plays.
Yeah,
same
exactly.
plays. So you're playing 7th grade, 8th grade football. You're running the plays that's ran on Friday nights. So when you get to Friday night, you're already ready to go. Here's a pitch. Ruffin-Williams. And that was a second down, so that was a 2nd and 15. So third down, coming up, 6:50 to go and counting, fourth quarter. Again, this is week 6 of high school football. Hard to believe that we are moving along here in this high school football season. As we're inching close. Going to have playoff implications. And extra round of the playoffs, late October, so we are almost there.
I tell you what, to be such a young team and you're 3-2 says that, you know, that's growth. A lot of growth. And these Brooklyn Hurricanes have been leaving it all on the field every week this season.
And they have done so. Brooklyn next week will host Hawken Heights. They'll do that next week. Meanwhile, Hawken will head back home to take on Brookshire. And that's coming up next week. So both teams got more tough opponents, get all throughout the CVC conference. A lot of tough opponents. All that coming up. Again, ChagrinValleyConference.com, live CVC scoreboard update. You can check that out. Also, the CVC athletes of the week as the Hawks take time out with 5:17 to go in the fourth quarter. So get back up here in the booth. AA, Anthony Alfred, Rico, McGee. And it's been, from start to finish here, the Hawks putting in work.
Yeah, they put in, you know, they're putting in work, but, you know, Brooklyn has nothing to hang their heads about in shame. You know, you're still, you know, it's your growth. Still learning.
Yeah, they have done just that. Let's go over a few scores here in the CVC scoreboard. Score stream taking care of business for that. In the fourth quarter, Trinity over Independence, 14-13 in the fourth quarter. Geneva over Orange in third quarter, 42-0. Harvey third quarter over Grand Valley, 42-0. Here is a throw to the end zone. Mangini, touchdown. Luke Mangini, he wanted that. The junior receiver getting it done, and it's now 47-7. Hawks with 5:10 to go in the fourth quarter.
This is another good game for Hawk.
That was nearly blocked, but the extra point is good. Oscar Davis was coming around the edge. But with 5:10 to go, fourth quarter, Hawken 48, Brooklyn 7. I do give credit to the student body here, the student section for Brooklyn. They have stuck around here from start to finish. And
the students are really,
you want to see that. You do want to see that.
You want to see that.
Again, next week we will be in Chagrin Falls. Lakeside versus Chagrin Falls. Here on CVC TV. Coverage begins shortly before 7 o'clock on ChagrinValleyConference.com and on CVC TV on YouTube. So we're just south of Cleveland tonight. Next week we'll be at the very edge of Cuyahoga County next week.
You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a good one next week.
We got some good games coming up as we inch towards October.
When those leaves change.
4:50 to go and counting. Ball is kicked. fielded just before the 25.
Woo!
Rolling, got a block, still going, tackle pass midfield for Smith.
On the return for the Hurricanes. He brings across midfield. He's spotted near the 46-yard line.
There's some blocking out there. This is the last parts of this football game.
Good block. Still playing physical. Still playing till the clock hits 0.
46-yard line. First and 10, Hurricanes.
So Brooklyn going forward, their concern obviously is going to be what's going on in the quarterback position. Jaden Bassinger suffered an injury right before half. He's not dressed. So if you're a Brooklyn fan, kind of see what's going on with that throughout the week. But he is on the sidelines supporting his team. Cogburn, pump fakes, still on his feet, throws on the run, incomplete. Intended for Oscar Davis. 3:25 to go and counting. Fourth quarter. So if you're Brooklyn, what do you want to kind of wrap it up here? But if you're Brooklyn, kind of going into the next game, what's the key thing that you want to see from this team as far as adjustments going into the next week, Rico?
Getting that push, creating offense, giving different kind of looks, I kind of want to see some reverses, a little play action, something that's going to, raise the imagination and, try to put some points on this board,
I feel like one of the big turning points of this game.
They were able to run the ball.
Yeah.
When they found success running the ball, and then.
Ball's loose. Ball is loose. We'll see who got it. Ball did come loose. Third down coming up. We'll stay with the Hurricanes.
They were lucky that wasn't.
So ball be fielded at the down at the 42.
Third down.
But you were just making a point, though, Rico, is that, just look, defending Dominic Johnson, it's a tall order. I think the other thing that happened, too, it was 14-7. Hawken has just scored. They were kicking off. The ball bounces up off the up man, and the Hawks stole a possession. Here's a ball launched down the field. That is incomplete. Intended for Davis, fourth down, coming up. 90 seconds to go in the football game.
Trying to make this, a reputable score and trying to get on the board. It's been tough.
Well, for all intents and purposes, it'll either be Brooklyn getting a first down off of this play or a touchdown, or Hawken making a stop and then getting into victory formation. We are under a minute to go fourth quarter. Again, I want to thank Brooklyn Athletics for hosting us here, CVC TV, here tonight.
Beautiful accommodations, and the burger was good.
Enrico approved of the I do too, actually. I had two of them. It was great. 35 seconds, 4th and 12 from the 42. Drop it back. Throws down the field. Incomplete. And with 23 seconds and counting, turnover on downs. And the clock does stop with a turnover on downs. So clock will stop with 21 seconds. Hawken will get into victory formation, and they will roll the clock. So that will be the last play of this football game. This game is over about 10 seconds from now officially, as both teams will line up at the 50. So our final score here tonight, the Hawken Hawks 48, Brooklyn Hurricanes 7. We'll quickly as we wrap up here. We talked about Brooklyn, what they needed to do going into the next week. How about for Hawken?
I mean, I think Hawken just, needs to just take it one game at a time, continue to be 1-0 at the end of every week, and got to clean up the penalties. The penalties have to be cleaned up because when you play these tougher teams who are better and know how to capitalize on those mistakes, they're not going to let you just get away with, gaining big yardage after 2 penalties that knocked you back 50 yards. You have to clean up those penalties.
Mangini had a touchdown late. Robinson had a touchdown. Dominic Johnson, 5 total touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, and a pick 6. So a performance coming off of last week where he has 7 total touchdowns, including a kick return. So Hawken is off and ready to go. Next week, Hawken will host Brookshire. Meanwhile, Brooklyn next week will be right back here, host Hawken Heights. For our entire CVC TV team, Peter Tull and our entire crew here, and for Rico McGee, Double A Anthony Alford signing off. Again, our final score here tonight. Hawken 48, Brooklyn 7. We will see you next week in Chagrin Falls for Lakeside and Chagrin Falls. But for now, have a good night and a good weekend.
The CVC jinx is real.